Tammy Slaton's life has been a journey of survival, struggle, and transformation, and for viewers of 1,000-Pound Sisters, her story has become one of the most compelling in reality television. At her heaviest, Tammy wore a size 8XL, a reality that brought with it immense physical limitations, emotional despair, and constant health risks. Her life was once a series of daily battles to breathe, to move, to live. Now her life has taken a dramatic and inspiring turn. No longer confined to the 8XL world she once inhabited, Tammy is now living proof that change, even after years of setbacks and pain, is possible. And her current clothing size speaks volumes about the progress she's made and the hope she's reignited, not just in herself, but in those who followed her every step of the way. The early seasons of 1,000-Pound Sisters painted a harrowing picture of Tammy's reality. Viewers watched as she struggled to get out of bed, relied on her sister Amy and caregivers for nearly everything, and fought a losing battle against obesity-related illnesses like diabetes, high blood pressure, and lung problems. Even simple tasks like walking to the bathroom or standing for a few minutes became insurmountable challenges. At her most vulnerable, Tammy's weight topped out at over 700 pounds. The scale became a symbol of fear rather than a tool of health, and size 8XL clothing was the only thing she could fit into. And even then, finding clothes that were comfortable and functional was an ongoing difficulty. Most retail stores didn't carry her size, forcing her to shop online from specialty plus-size retailers that offered few style options and even fewer choices that made her feel like a woman instead of just a patient. The psychological impact of living at that size was immense. Tammy often expressed feelings of worthlessness, hopelessness, and isolation. She spent most of her time indoors, watching television or scrolling through social media, frequently lashing out at her sister Amy or withdrawing entirely from those who loved her. The emotional toll of needing help to bathe or eat, combined with the frustration of failed diets and stalled progress, led her into a spiral of depression and emotional eating. Episodes of 1,000-Pound Sisters often revealed the darker corners of her life: arguments, tears, ER visits, and close calls with death. These were not scripted scenes but raw, painful moments that laid bare the human cost of extreme obesity. Tammy's size 8XL status didn't just dictate her clothing choices, it shaped her entire identity. She couldn't travel. She couldn't fit in booths at restaurants or chairs with arms. She couldn't even enjoy family outings without worrying about accessibility. Her social life became non-existent, her love life filled with disappointment, and her dreams constantly overshadowed by the harsh reality of her body's limitations. It wasn't just the physical weight that was crushing, it was the emotional burden of feeling like her best days were behind her. But everything began to change when Tammy finally reached a critical point. After years of setbacks, including stints in the hospital and a long stay in a rehabilitation center, she made the decision to truly commit to changing her life. Viewers who had once watched her fight everyone around her began to see a different Tammy emerge, a woman tired of being stuck, willing to face the demons that kept her from progress. With the help of medical professionals, a bariatric surgery program, and a new mindset rooted in self-worth, Tammy began the slow, difficult, and ultimately rewarding process of reclaiming her life. Her gastric bypass surgery became the turning point. For years, she had been told she wouldn't survive if she didn't qualify and follow through. She was skeptical, afraid, and angry, but ultimately the love of her family and the desire to live pushed her through. Post-surgery, Tammy began to shed weight faster than she ever imagined. But the transformation wasn't just physical, it was emotional, psychological, and even spiritual. For the first time in years, Tammy began to see herself as more than a number on the scale or a patient on a chart. Now, Tammy is proudly wearing a size 2XL, a far cry from the 8XL size she once depended on. The change in clothing size is more than a number. It's a symbol of her perseverance, of battles fought and won. She now has access to regular clothing stores, stylish plus-size boutiques, and outfits that reflect her personality rather than just accommodate her size. She has been spotted wearing colorful tops, fitted jeans, and accessories that express a newfound confidence. She smiles more, takes selfies with pride, and has even begun to explore new relationships, no longer feeling like she has to settle for people who fetishize her weight. Her body is moving in ways it hadn't in years. She can walk farther without losing her breath, climb stairs with less effort, and stand for longer periods without collapsing. She has returned to family gatherings not as a burden but as a participant. She dances, laughs, and interacts with others in a way that had been lost to her for so long. Her relationship with Amy has also improved. Though they still have their sibling squabbles, there is a deeper level of respect now. Tammy understands how hard Amy worked to support her and now reciprocates that love and care in meaningful ways. Tammy's story has inspired thousands, maybe even millions. Messages from fans flood her social media, thanking her for her honesty, for showing the highs and the lows, and for proving that it's never too late to change. She's also begun to use her platform to raise awareness about obesity, mental health, and the realities of food addiction. She speaks candidly about the trauma that contributed to her eating habits, the moments when she nearly gave up, and the importance of having a support system that holds you accountable without judging you. Her journey hasn't been perfect. Tammy still faces challenges. There are days when she struggles, when cravings rear their ugly head, or when the scale doesn't reflect her efforts. But the difference now is her resilience. She doesn't let bad days spiral into bad months. She has tools, both psychological and physical, to manage setbacks. And perhaps most importantly, she now sees herself as someone worthy of a future filled with hope, adventure, and love. In terms of health, Tammy's transformation has been nothing short of miraculous. Her oxygen levels have improved dramatically, her mobility is better than it has been in decades, and she is no longer at imminent risk of the life-threatening complications that once hovered over her like a dark cloud. Her doctors are amazed by her progress, and even skeptics within her own family have become her cheerleaders. Her eyes now sparkle with purpose. She talks about goals, traveling, maybe even going back to school, helping others on their journey. When Tammy looks at old photos of herself at her heaviest, she feels a mix of emotions. Gratitude that she's alive.